called Something to Be. Please welcome to the show, Rob Thomas. Yes, they are. Would you like one? Oh, gosh. Come on, just everybody. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm real sorry about the jelly bean thing.
Why?
Because I get crazy with the jelly beans.
Oh, do you get a bit wacky on the bean?
Yeah, I am. That's my vice.
Is it really?
Well, these are freaking good.
They're good. Well, see, they're your top shelf, not just, you know, the kind you just get in a pharmacy
No,
or a drugstore.
these are like
kind
jelly
of thing.
bellies or something, right?
Yeah, so it's like bizarre flavors, and you put a whole lot in your mouth, and they make a really weird color.
This one tastes like ass.
Yep. Oh, sorry, no, I was sitting in them before. Sorry, that was my bad, my bad. Now, you must be excited to be back in the country.
I'm always excited.
You've been here before, and because on one of your previous trips, you were taught the art of sports drinking here in this country.
I was. I think I learned all I need to know about sport drinking right here.
Now, for those who don't know what sport drinking is, enlighten.
I think it for me it was working my way towards my demise through VB. I think that was what I was working on. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy because when you're young, that's kind of obligatory. Like when you start off in a band, you go through that period where you have to, for a couple of years, you have to drink way too much, and you have to try anything that somebody hands you in a dark corner, and you meet up with all the wrong kinds of women and some of the right kinds of women, and but I think you have to go through that when you start off. So, and Australia helped me with that a lot.
Well, you know, we do what we can.
No.
Now, of course, we're so proud. Yeah. Yeah, we turn the good Christian kids wrong. So, so what's it like now being back? Well, when you first come, though, we'll ask this, the first time you come to Australia, because you guys actually were touring here before you'd really made it big as well.
Yeah, I mean, and it happened in America, really, for us right after Australia. Like, we were doing, it was doing okay in America, like some, like, bigger clubs. And we came to Australia, and it really broke over here, and when we went back from Australia was when it started to happen for us in the States.
Now, of course, you've got your solo album out now as well. Yeah. Does this mean the end of Matchbox 20?
No, definitely not.
You and the boys?
Yeah, we're still, we took this break, not just for my record. Like, we took this break because we had been for 10 years kind of in the studio and on the road, and in the studio and on the road, and Paul had a record that he wanted to make, and he just had a baby, and Kyle just had a couple babies, and everybody was taking this break for themselves, and so I just, you know, I'm not good with free time, so I used it to make a record.
So no plans to make babies?
And maybe after this record. Maybe then it's baby time. I mean, my wife and I are having sex, but we're not actually trying for babies yet.
Okay. Just practicing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you guys just moved to a new house, haven't you? Because I know you had a beautiful house, this beautiful house in New York, this beautiful ornate mansion, and have you just moved to a new place?
We did. We just got a new place. It's only like 15 minutes from where we lived before. It's in New York still, but it's like a lot of people don't realize that 30 minutes from New York is like the woods, and we live, you know, we can get into the city in no time, but when we're out, we're in the middle of nowhere, so it's beautiful up there, and we wanted to be, I think, even more in the middle of nowhere, so we bought this house that's like right in the middle of the woods.
And it's something that I know you've talked about before. When you go away on tour and you live the musical lifestyle, the one thing you love the most is coming home and just being a normal person and doing normal things, which sounds odd, but you said you like things like making your own coffee and
it's my favorite,
stuff like
being
that.
Home, I mean, everybody knows that.
Which must sound odd to people, but
no, I mean, being at home and
enjoy?
having your coffee from your coffee machine or sleeping in your bed, that becomes a vacation. So, like, my wife and I haven't been away for 4 years now, because whenever, like, we're off the road, if we only have like 3 or 4 months, we spend it at home because it's the only time we get to be home. So it's very rarely that we actually go away for a vacation.
And is it nice to have a house and to be able to renovate it and do all these marvelous things and be off touring internationally when you had a very difficult upbringing? You were born into a military family, you lived in West Germany, and then you were even homeless for a lot of the very early years of your life. So is it nice to sort of reflect on what your life was like when you began and where you are now?
Yeah, I think like if you ever spend any time where you don't know where you're going to sleep, I think you always have a feeling that you could go back there at any minute. You know, like there's always that feeling of like no matter how much success you have, you know, and I think it's the kind of thing that if you make a little money and you're fortunate enough to make money, you're going to think about, you know, well, I should use this money to pay for my kids' college as opposed to like I should go buy 3 Bentleys. You know, like and you start to kind of prioritize your life, and I think it makes you appreciate having something more when you had nothing to begin with.
And is it something that you've tried to utilize or tried not to utilize in your songwriting?
Yes and no. You know, it's funny, like I've never like, I never write literal songs, really. You know, like, if I have a big fight with my wife, and I never write a song that's about a fight with my wife, like, I'll write a song about how that makes me feel, because to me, like, if I write about that, that's something you can understand, or someone else can listen to, because they can understand that feeling. They don't know me or my wife, and so they won't understand that fight, because, you know, the fight's pretty silly, like I left the toilet seat up or something like that. But everybody kind of understands the feeling that comes from that, you know, and so my songs are that way, and I think having grown up that way and kind of going through that at an early age gave me like a sense of character that I maybe wouldn't have had I stayed in school, or had I took a normal route, you know.
And now, of course, when you're going solo, because you've said before that the one thing you liked about being with the group is that they were censors, they were critics. Just because you write the songs doesn't mean you bring them in and they just say yes.
Oh yeah, wouldn't that be great?
So is it difficult when you are by yourself to have people to tell you whether they think the song's good or not?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I work with Matt Serletic, who's a producer, and he does a really good job of telling me. And my wife has no problem going, well, that's not good. But
that's nice.
well, because you need that. I mean,
Oh,
you really do. And but I think, you know, with Matchbox 20, like, everything that we do is a result of an argument between 5 people. Like, every video we make, every song that we do, every record that we finish, you know, is a result of the 5 of us just screaming at each other until we find something that we're all, you know, the same amount of happy and unhappy with. You know what I mean? And so the first time, like, you're in a room and you go, well, I think, you know, we should use that drum beat, and nobody's arguing with you. And you do it, and then you're like, well, maybe that's not right. You know, nobody's, you know, I didn't have to fight for it. I don't know if it was right or not. So I think the reason you do it is because you have to learn to trust your own instincts more.
So where does the description of your music sometimes being Dr. Phil music come from? What does that mean?
I don't know. I heard that too. I think back when I was sport drinking, I think I used to say a lot of crazy things, and now, because either that or I mean that we're all kind of heavy, balding psychotherapist type.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Well, we're very excited that you'll be performing for us when we return. The hit single Lonely No More, he'll be performing for us to close the show. But right now, please thank Rob Thomas, everybody. Thank you, We'll see you in just a sec. We're right back with Rob to perform for us and Michael Mel Live Lister.